There we go. 46 ground, RV 271, Victor Alpha, November hangars ready to taxi with Oscar.
RV 271, Victor Alpha, ground, hold short of Alpha.
Hold short of Alpha, 1 Victor Alpha. We'll go ahead and roll up onto November and hold short of Alpha. Did you control here?
I did.
Yeah?
That's where I finished my air traffic controlling.
Okay, and that was some 10 years ago?
Yeah, that's where I finished, yeah.
Okay.
But I was at many of the busier airports in there. Little Rock, Portsmouth, Kendall Air Force Base, and Laughlin, yeah.
You enjoyed it?
Oh, miss it to this day.
Really?
Yeah.
Every time I go up for a tower tour, like I bring students up there, Paul Pillow always tries to recruit me as a controller.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I know you guys are desperate, but I'm a pilot. He's like, you could get this job, no problem. I'm just like,
RV1 Victor Alpha, actually, if you could just hold your position via helicopter, that's going to be inbound onto November.
All right, then I'm going to pull off in November. I'm on November, hold short of Alpha.
RV1 Victor Alpha, yes, thanks, just pull off and we'll let you know when the helicopter is on November.
Probably the R-22 coming back?
Yeah, it's either R-22 or the 44. Let's go over here and wait.
Right.
All right. As we sit here, I can kind of run through what's going on the screens here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is your attitude information here.
Yep.
That it's going to change, roll, all that. That's your coordination for your rudder. All your gauges over here for your engine and battery and all that.
Yep.
Over here is the moving map. It is touchscreen, so you can really go to any airport and click on it. So let's say we want to go to Skyhaven, click on it, go to info, and it's basically the chart supplement. Gives us all the information that we need for it. All the frequencies, have approach plates, not that we can do IFR, airport diagrams for taxiing or whatever we want. Weather, has live weather, download from the ADSB. So this is basically their, what would be their AWAS over there. It'll also have a TAF if they have a TAF, and then their winds aloft forecast as well. Runway information, and then all the remarks for the airport as well. So it's plenty of information on this screen here. It's fairly easy to use. It's really, you just have to click and go to info, and everything that you really need to know is right in here. There's the R44 there.
Everything's easy to use when you're sitting on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's no time urgency associated with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything else good. We've got our fuel on, choke off, throttle is set for our
And we still have
here.
both ignitions on, right?
Yep.
Is there a fuel pump?
Yes. So that
let me
clicking
rephrase
sound.
that. Is there a separate fuel pump? So most time when you leave the critical phase of flight and you get above a certain altitude, turn the fuel pump on. When you come back in for landing, you'd hit a fuel pump.
Right.
I meant off. It's on. Yeah.
So our fuel pump is always running, and that's the one in the back, just at the base of the fuel tank. And then there's a mechanical one that's always running as well.
Gotcha.
That's tied engine-driven fuel pump.
Yes, yes.
We don't have like one that we can flip on or off. We could turn that one off by pulling the fuse.
Do you have the helicopter insight on November?
Yeah, we got to flight 1 Victor Alpha.
Everyone Victor Alpha, behind that traffic, taxi via November Alpha Bravo to runway 16.
November Alpha Bravo, runway 16 behind the helicopter 1 Victor Alpha, thanks.
You always do full length departures?
Yeah, we never do. Not for 16. We always do intersection departures for 16.
Totally was not listening, sorry.
So we're going Bravo intersection.
Yeah. All right.
We're clear. So right now, so the hardest part with the nose, with the steering here, is because the rudder is not connected to the wheel.
Right.
So I'm full left, and we're still actually going to the right. So that's the hardest part, because you actually have to use the brakes.
Yeah.
But you don't want to put too much pressure and cause yourself to go over there. It's all very smooth, inputs of the brakes.
So you're on the top of the pedal versus the bottom of the pedal more so. Because I saw that. I was like, wow. Yeah, there's no chimney dampener on the nose wheel. It's just sitting there doing its thing.
Exactly.
I don't like that.
You get used to it, and it's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
So for here, I'm going to go full right rudder. That's not enough, so I give it a little bit of right brake.
Yep.
You shouldn't feel the brake. It shouldn't be like like tugging at you like that.
Yep.
That's what like all the students like to do, which is okay to learn that way. But that's not the end result. The end result will be those smooth inputs of brake, so that you barely even feel it. And then as we go straight down the line, once we have a little bit of speed, I'm not even using the brakes anymore.
Sure.
I can just use the rudder. And it's constant movement with the rudder. It's not like sit, wait for it to do something, then correct. You know, it's just constant movement back and forth. Keep it centered. It's a lot like flying a tail wheel. So if you ever fly a tail wheel or fly with someone that has a tail wheel, you'll see their feet are moving the entire time. It's the same way.
And frankly, that's what brings me here is tail wheel.
Yeah.
Eventually, at the end of the day, it's like flying a Kit Fox or something, a tail dragger. And
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, we're going to be having our...
That's not a Cub, yeah. Piper Cub coming, yeah.
Yeah, we got our Piper Cub coming this week, hopefully.
But not a Carbon Cub, anyway.
Nope. That would be awesome. I'm using a little bit of brake to slow down. I just release. Yep, and now I just release the right one to make the turn. Give a little bit of throttle to keep it coming around.
Yep. And soon to be clear of the taxiway, and then hold short of the runway.
Yep.
We'll do our pre-flight checks over here. Pre-departure checks.
Yep. Yeah, we call it a before takeoff check.
There you go. Thank you.
All right, and even though the winds say 270, I'm looking at the windsock.
I was looking for it.
It's actually coming more out of the east, so we're going to spin it around, point into the wind a little bit.
Is that a 20 knot windsock?
I believe it is, yes. We'll close and latch this.
That when the AC starts coming on?
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah.
All right, so now we do our flight control check. All the way around, full box. Everything's moving as it should, including the rudder. Most people forget to do the rudder. You always want to check.
See it back there?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it.
You got better vision than I do. All right.
Yep. And all that's good. Fuel is on, chokes off, ignition A and B are on. We'll bring the throttle up to 4,000, so we'll do our ignition check.
Magneto checks or ignition checks?
These ones are ignitions, because they're actually ignition boxes.
Okay. 4,000, got
4,000.
And you're looking for 300 drop, right?
No more than 300.
No more than 300. Where are you looking at right there? I don't see
right
it.
Here. So
oh, the RPM drop.
Yep,
Got
so
it.
it's about 70 RPM.
Okay.
Same thing, about 78 RPM or so.
And no more than 150 difference between the two, right?
120.
120, okay.
Yep. And everything is in the green. The only thing still flashing is the battery, which is in the green now.
Do you see that actually flashing? I don't see a...
It did, yeah. So if I pull it back a little bit, you'll see it go yellow.
There it is. Yep, okay. Why are there two different, two different ignitions?
For what?
No. Yeah, why are there two different battery scales? Oh, that's amps versus volts. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
And we turn our landing light on, make sure it doesn't create too much of a draw.
Okay.
Doesn't.
That was the landing down.
Yep.
Okay.
So we pull it all the way back to idle, make sure nothing goes in the yellow except for the battery information.
Both the volts and the amps. Okay.
And all that is good. Everything is as it should be. Trim is set. We're squawking 1200.
When you say it's set, obviously you've flown this aircraft a lot. You know how much. How do you know how much trim you have dialed in?
So right here.
Okay. Yep.
There's white arrows on the green line.
Okay. And that's takeoff trim configuration.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's what we're looking for.
If you were by yourself, would you configure it differently?
Nope.
Okay. What if you have 50 pounds of cargo in the back?
Nope.
Same. Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
It's always the same. Send it around to the right.
Already switched over to tower?
Not yet. I'm just going to do one more verification of the checklist, so just hand it to me real quick. This is the most critical one, so this is the one I do double check. Flight controls, flight instruments, fuel valve, fuel quantity, canopies closed, elevator trim set. Oil's good, I did the ignition check, that's all good. Fuses were all not lit, fuel pressure 2.2 minimum, we're at 5.6, seatbelts and harnesses are on. We're good. Now we contact them.
16. Citation 833 Juliet Sierra Tower, checklist down, runway 16, 11505, clear to land.
Clear to land 16, citation 3 Juliet Sierra.
Portsmouth Tower, RV271 Victor Alpha, hold short 16 Bravo for a south departure.
RV271 Victor Alpha Tower, runway 16 Bravo, 1150 at 6, cleared for takeoff, citation about 7 miles to fly, on final.
Clear for takeoff 16 Bravo, 1 Victor Alpha. Clear for takeoff, 16, taking a slight right turn to the south after departure. Gonna get ourselves lined up. As throttle goes into full, we verify the instruments are all reading green, and we continue to check them on their departure roll and the climb out. That way, in case we have to do an abort or anything. And of course, if we were to abort, I'd be doing that in putting it in the golf course most likely. Alright, so everything is good, so we're going to feed in the throttle, feed in our right rudder, just pretty much all right rudder, a little bit of brake just to get it going straight. Once we get speed, I take that right rudder out. And it's just real small movements again, just like I'm taxiing. Instruments are all green, airspeed's alive, I'm going to bring it up about 55, lift the nose. It's going to come off the ground 60. About there. And we're just going to pitch it up for about 65 to 70. Just for the first couple hundred feet. And I'm going to lower it for 75.
RV1 Victor Alpha on course your discretion.
On course your discretion, 1 Victor, thanks.
How much back pressure are you flying right now?
I don't have anything.
Okay.
I have it, so that's what the trim is mainly for.
Yep.
To kind of get you at that 75 knots.
442 Bravo Delta on November, information Oscar requesting a departure double point.
What is VA?
That's maneuvering speed.
442 Bravo Delta Alpha taxiway beam November, wind 130 at 6, cleared for takeoff, left turn out approved, remain east to the runway.
So for takeoff Alpha November, remain east, helicopter 442 Bravo Delta.
Traffic's already building up on 95 south. Alright, so we're going to go slightly to the south here,
Juliet Sierra,
head out towards the beaches,
helicopter departing the parallel
and you can go ahead and take it now, take it with your left hand,
Yep.
and just relax. Yep, your controls,
Okay.
and just have your wrist relaxed on your lap there, and it just takes fingertips to move it. It's really sensitive, really light. We're going to climb up to 2,000 feet. We're passing through 1,000 right now.
Not using any rudder yet, is that bad? Is there
You could put a little bit of rudder in, a little bit of right rudder. Yep, and then I'll take my feet off. That way you know you got full control of everything.
I see it there, there we go.
And try and just reference the instruments, don't stare at them. Everyone wants to stare at them.
I'm perfectly coordinated, leave me alone.
Ideally, you make sure everything is where it should be, and then just look straight ahead and use any movement with the horizon to correct. And when we start approaching 2,000 feet, you can start lowering the nose 10% of your climb rate. So if we're climbing at 800 feet a minute, 700 feet a minute, start leveling off 70 feet prior.
Citation 3 Juliet Sierra, where are you parking?
Port City.
Citation 3 Juliet Sierra, roger, turn left next taxiway, taxi to Port City via Bravo Alpha, and then in via either Papa or Quebec. This
and just a nice shallow lowering the
Bravo
nose.
Alpha to Papa, Quebec with you, citation 3.
Yeah, bring it right down, and now pull the power back to 4,500 RPM. It'll be a pretty big pull.
Okay. We're getting there.
There you go, and just keep dropping the nose down as it speeds up.
10 miles northeast, so transition to southwest.
And the faster it goes, the more it wants to go up.
Yep.
And then once we have our power set,
Victor Alpha, frequency change approved.
Just say, burn your throttle. Can I twist it to set it, or is it just...
866, I'm sorry, can you say your current position again?
you just pull it back. You can twist it.
Is there fine adjustments, what I'm asking?
Right.
Okay.
November 866,
No, I'm way high.
approved before it's altimeter 3018.
3018, 866.
Don't need trim adjustment at this point?
You can. So if it feels like there's resistance, go ahead and trim it down.
Yeah, let me see where we're sitting at here. I'm still high, though. I'm way high. Where are we going?
We're going to go straight out to the coast and make a right turn, follow the coast. I do it this way, that way we avoid roughly about 3 miles of Hampton.
I gotcha.
Hampton Airfield's right over there.
I know it's the weekend, obviously. They fly gliders? Where do they fly out there on the weekends?
At Hampton?
Yeah.
Usually the banner toes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
and they hit right at 500 along the coast, or what? Yep.
Yeah, I've never seen a glider out of there. All the glider stuff's usually out of Sanford. Yeah, they do a lot of, the banner toes actually go out of Sanderson Field, and then they'll fly down over Hampton. Were they using Sanderson Field when you were controlling?
No.
No? So it's, at least from my knowledge, it's not an actual airport, it's just a big field some guy has in his backyard. And they take off and land the banner toes there and pick up the banners and stuff. So, interesting.
What What do you do for clearing turns? What's your procedure? What do you like to see?
90 degrees. So 2 90-degree turns, left and right, or right and left.
Yeah, but if I'm turning at 90 degrees to the right, you know, when I flew high wings, we would raise the wing up and then we'd go make the turn.
Oh yeah, so...
What do you do here for just making a simple 90-degree turn?
So you can drop the wing a little bit, but I mean, so if you're making a left turn, you're already dropping the wing, so you don't need to really do anything. It's really only high wings where you have to lift it to look out there.
Right. But if we were doing turns around a point or something like that, we do the 290s and...
Yep.
Okay. Here, so that's Hampton Beach, right?
Yep, right there.
And Seabrook would be further up?
Yep, basically over the river there is a little bit more of Hampton, and then Seabrook, then Salisbury.
Yeah. I don't know what the flight restriction over the power plant is, so...
There isn't one.
Is there not?
Nope.
Okay, disregard.
The biggest thing is you don't linger around them.
Yeah, of course.
You don't create attention or anything, but you're allowed to fly over it. You're allowed to fly around it.
Okay. So I'm going to trim this down some because it's
Yep.
All right, so am I going the right way?
Yep.
Okay. Oh wow, that was a big click right there. I felt that one.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. All right, now let's go ahead and make a left turn, go out over the water a little bit. We're going to stay clear of this traffic that's off our right.
You see traffic?
Yeah, down here on our screen here.
What's my final heading? Where do you want me?
150.
Let's see there. Wow.
Sensitive, huh?
Just surprised how slippery it is.
Yeah.
Whoop, I overshot. What's the furthest you've taken this light sport aircraft on a trip?
I haven't really gone that far. Probably Lebanon, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
It's you don't really fly these that far.
No.
These are more for local.
Right. So what should I expect on a cruise? What's the max normal cruise for this?
So normal cruise, like if we're going across country or something, is about 5,000 RPM.
How about the airspeed indicated?
It's usually about 102, 103. The book says 101, but it's usually a lot more than that. Sometimes the true airspeed will sometimes be as high as 110.
Gotcha. Hey, what's that little, is that north?
Wind.
Wind.
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yep, so that's where your wind's coming from.
How comfortable do you feel flying over the ocean? How far out do you feel?
So we have to remain in gliding distance.
That's what I was going to ask. So I know it's like a high wing Chevrolet Cessna, 7-to-1 glide ratio.
Yep.
What do we have?
This one's 13-to-1.
No way. Oh, wow.
Yep, it's not too bad. It really does glide pretty well. So I usually don't go more than 3 miles though.
Yep. And how do you know? Is that just...
Yep. So right now we're 2 miles out.
Gotcha.
You can go ahead and make a right turn, go parallel the coast again. But of course it depends on altitude as well. The higher we are, the further we can go out.
Yeah, yeah.
So there was a period of time where there was probably a dozen whales about 5 miles off the coast. This one went up to about 3,000, 3,500. Go circle around them. That way we were still within gliding range. And the other airplane, 266, actually has a glide ring on it. It'd actually be a glide ring, a green glide ring. Shows you where you can go.
Different avionics or what?
Same screens. For whatever reason, it's enabled on here, but it doesn't show. I think it might be because the other airplane actually has a higher level ADS-B than this one does.
Yep.
This is like the basic ADS-B. The other one's actually a little better. Alright, so let's bring it down to 2,000. So what I want you to do is reduce the throttle, bring it back to 3,500. There you go, and that'll just make the nose fall down. And so really all you have to do is just maintain your speed by changing your pitch, and that'll result in your loss of altitude. And when you're approaching your altitude, again about that 10% of your descent rate, you can start feeding in the throttle, bringing the nose up. It's always a 3-step process of changing altitude or leveling off. It's pitch, power, trim. So you change your pitch, you change your power, then you set your trim. That can be for level offs from climbs or descents.
Am I going back to 45?
Yep. Back up to 45.
So you're flying about 60 hours a week, right?
It's more like 60 hours every 2 weeks.
Because you have a lot of solo students, gotcha.
Right, exactly. And that, you know, there's ground time as well, so.
Yeah.
All right, what I want you to do now is do a steady 30-degree bank, full 360 to the right.
Okay, so let's talk about this first. Make sure, where do I see the, which one's 30 degrees?
So each one of those tick marks is 10,
Yep.
up until the triangle, which is 45. So
we're not going 45.
Nope, not yet. So
Okay.
you're going to go 30 degrees, which is that first longer one.
Yep, I got it.
On either side.
And so any clearing effort aside beyond this? And
Nope, you just look. You lead the turn with your eyes. That's how you would you'd stay
Do I
clear.
need to apply any more throttle or just back pressure? That's it.
Just bring it back up to 45.
Okay.
And then you can start your right turn. You'll only need a little bit of back pressure at 30 degrees of bank.
So 180 you said?
Full 360.
Full 360.
Yep.
Here we go.
So we are clear off the right.
Yep.
Yeah, the trick is to just follow the horizon as you go around. There's traffic straight ahead, no factor. And just kind of watch the horizon. As you come around, you're looking for your traffic. And it also keeps your eyes off of the instruments inside. It really does become difficult if you stare at the instruments. You're actually a little shallow. You're only 20 degrees, so put in another 10 degrees there.
There we go.
There you go. That's more like it.
And I feel like I should be pulling back more, but I'm high.
Yeah, so you got high, so you can let it come down a little bit. The reason you got high is because you pulled back too much for it, and you only had 20 degrees of bank in.
Yep.
If you had the 30, you probably would have been okay.
Now, I'm not using a lot of rudder on this.
No, it doesn't really need it. The airplane flies pretty straight.
Okay.
It's when you go into really steep turns or when you roll out, you're going to need rudder.
Okay.
And,
High on the RPM.
Okay, and then do another one to the left.
Left. All right, here we go. We'll try to get full 30 this time.
Okay.
Have you ever had a student just rip it and get to 45 real quick?
Oh yeah.
Hey, what do you do? My plane?
Yeah,
that quick?
I just tell them that they're a little steep.
That generally works, huh?
Yep. Sometimes. I've had students go right to 60.
Oh no.
And I'm just like, all right, well, if you're comfortable. Most people are afraid to go even past, 20, so
yeah,
30 is a chore in most cases.
I thought that you would have to have been an aerobox or something to get that much pitch. Or
No.
That,
No, so anything beyond 60 is aerobatic.
Okay.
But 60 is the limit, and for a commercial, 60 is what you actually do the steep turns at.
Okay, yep.
You lost a little bit of altitude that time.
Did I really? Oh
Yep.
God, I'm sucking.
You could have used just a little bit more back pressure.
How much throttle adjustment do you typically make in a flight? I mean, so when I'm off that a little bit, should I added 100 RPM or so. Should I have done that or?
You could probably just raise the nose for a quick second. It'll bring it up. You'll lose a couple knots because you're trading that speed for altitude, but it's going to come back once you level it back off.
All right, what next?
All right, let's make a right turn to 330.
All right, coming right.
That's a little too nose up, so let it come down.
Yep. There we go. Oh, my airspeed dropped.
Yep. That's what I listen for. If you go into a turn and I hear the airspeed dropping up, that's how I know you're climbing.
How do you hear that?
Hey, just listen to the RPMs. The RPM's going to change very, very slightly, but it's noticeable enough. You can hear like the way the air sounds over the airplane as well.
I don't hear the air. I just hear this little. It's not a magneto sound, but the little. Bit. All right, let me see how we're doing here. A little high. RPM's a little high. So on the first few flights, oh, I'm going the wrong way. What are we generally working on these first few flights?
So the first few flights is just control the airplane.
Yep.
It's just the basic 4 fundamentals: climbs, descents, turns. And then we go into slow flight. Do the same thing, 4 fundamentals of flight into slow flight. And then from slow flight, we work on stalls. Following stalls, we do steep turns. And following steep turns, we do ground reference maneuvers. And that leads into landings.
And what are ground reference maneuvers? Turns around a point, what else?
S turns over a road in rectangular course.
Okay.
So usually the first lesson is what we're doing now, plus an introduction to slow flight. Then the next lesson is basically all slow flight with an introduction to stalls. And then it's stalls with an introduction to steep turns.
Okay.
And then it's steep turns, stalls, introduction to ground ref.
So what's your method for teaching? Obviously slow flight is a key element for landing the aircraft.
Yep.
What is your method to, I know some people do high-speed taxis, you know, the second element of the landing, and then they do the approach and ground effect.
Yep.
What is your method for teaching landing?
So I usually just go right into it. The airplane's very easy to land. In the right conditions, I've let, you know, people that don't have any experience land the airplane.
Wow.
You know, with just guidance, coaching. So usually we just go right into landings. If there's an issue that I catch that either has to do with maintaining runway center line, you know, getting the nose straight, anything like that, then what we do is, which is absolutely amazing for that we're at Portsmouth, is we do low approaches.
Yep.
And we'll just fly down the length of the runway, you know, putting in a crosswind correction or anything that we need to do, and just trying to stay directly over the center line, and then just take back off, you know, do a low approach with a climb out at the end. But that's usually only if necessary. Most people are able to pick up landings fairly easy in this airplane, you know, if the conditions are right for it. It's super predictable, and, you know, very forgiving. So it's actually a really fun airplane to land. It's easy to do a nice landing in it. Let's go. So I've been waiting for these two targets to come off of our right.
Yep.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go behind them. So I want to go a 030 heading.
Ready for that now?
Yep.
All right.
We're clear to the right.
Okay.
Looks like they're 4 miles away, so they're really not too much of an issue to us. They just turned around, so they were flying down the beach.
See him? Can you use an altitude indicator on there?
So this guy's 100 feet below, 400 feet above us, 1,000 feet below us. So he's actually climbing. Here's, I don't see them yet. Usually if they're outside of 3 miles, it's hard to spot any small aircraft.
And typical thing, horizon, anything below the horizon is below our altitude, above the horizon is above our altitude?
For the most part, yes.
Yeah. Drifting on you. Let's see there. So is Portsmouth right there, right?
Yep.
I meant to ask you, see the little ridge up on there?
Yeah.
One day, I only worked one mission of my life. I woke up and I saw there's the caldera, as they call it, the ring, a former volcano ring. You ever see that up here?
No.
No.
I can't say I've ever seen that. Is that over there?
Well, there's two of them. There's one in Ossipee and there's one over there in the vicinity of not Pawtuckaway, but almost 180 behind us or so.
Okay.
Is this a synthetic vision they talk about?
Yep. It's neat, but it's not really necessary.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw it on the center line. I'm like, I would never use that.
Right.
So when you land, you try to land, is it typical to get to set your landing speeds? How many flaps do you do? 10 degrees or do you go full flaps?
It depends on the runway.
Okay. Big S runway like these, 11-321.
We just use
But you do
one
use
flap.
One flap.
Yep.
Where's the flap adjustment?
Right down there.
Okay.
So we have 3 settings for flaps: 0, 1 notch, 2 notch. If we're going to Hampton, it'll always be 2 notches. You know, much smaller field.
Alpha Portsmouth Tower, rolling 16 Bravo, wind 160 at 4, cleared for takeoff on course, your discretion.
Cleared for takeoff 16, and can you confirm Boston departure is 125.05?
Affirmative.
Thank you.
All right, now I'm going to have you make a right turn back out over the water. So we got someone coming at us from our left.
Yep, got it. Typically we'll do these at 30 degrees.
Yep.
Is that 3 degrees a second when we do 30 degrees?
Gosh, that's a good question. So 15 degrees.
I'm not trying to quiz you. I'm just...
I'm trying to think. 15 degrees bank is a standard rate turn, which is
3 degrees per second. Then it's that standard rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, that's right. 6 degrees. Because I want to say 6 degrees, but I wasn't totally sure. But yeah, 6 degrees a second for 30 degrees.
Let's see here. Good.
Portsmouth Tower, helicopter 442 Bravo Delta, 7 miles to the south.
This guy's passing off behind us. No factor.
Downtown inbound, helicopter 442 Bravo Delta.
Alright, and what we're going to do is...
Is that Iowa Shoals?
Yes.
7 miles? I don't remember where the fix was, Shoals.
Yeah, it's about that. So there's 3, 6. So off the coast,
Yeah.
it's about 5 miles or so.
Yep, but for the departure in the runway.
Off the departure end of the runway, it's more like 10.
All right, fair enough. That makes sense. What's your plan here?
We're going to do some clearing turns. You're going to introduce yourself to slow flight.
Okay.
Kind of get a feel for that.
All right.
All right, so let's do a clearing turn to the right.
So that was right 90 and then a left 90 or what?
Yep, right 90, left 90.
Okay, so how do I best gauge that? Is just choose a point over that way?
Yep, yeah, just look down the wing and pick a point out there.
Right 90. And I'll do a left 90, right?
Yep, and I got the traffic off our right side in sight.
Where's he at? I got him, yep. Okay.
All right, so now bring the power back to 3,500.
There's no airflow right now. Oh, here's that engine noise.
Yep. And just keep the nose up.
Yep.
So as it slows down, it wants to go down.
Yep, yep.
So what you're going to do is you're going to counteract that, pull it back. You're trading your speed
So if
to hold altitude.
am I going to landing speed at this time?
You are.
So I should add that trim up then, right?
You can, yep.
And I hit that the right way? Yeah?
Yeah, you
Blue
trim
line.
up.
Okay.
All right, now you're going to reach
I'm
down
losing.
and put a flap in.
So just push the button, pull back one.
Press the button in, then lift it up one notch.
Yep.
It changes quick.
It does.
All right, now do it again. Put another notch in.
Okay.
Okay. Now you're going to lift the nose up for 55.
55, 62, 61, 60. Do I need more power or what?
You're going to add power in a sec.
Okay.
There you
55,
go. 55. Now throttle to 38.
Yep.
That's going to make it so that your altitude stays fairly steady from where you started.
38, 38. There we go.
All
Okay.
right.
I got a lot of pressure on right now. I'm good with it, but.
You can put more trim. Give yourself some more taps of up trim.
Oh, that was takeoff trim. That was not landing trim configuration.
Correct. Yeah, that's takeoff trim.
There we go.
And make a right turn to 240. We're clear off the right.
All right turn 240. How's it going to fly differently here?
It won't really feel that different. Obviously it's going to turn a little bit slower and kind of pivots.
Yep.
But controllability-wise, it still feels pretty good.
Which heading did you want me on?
240. And bring that nose up, keep it at 55.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, so slow flight's the area of reverse control. You pitch for speed, power for altitude.
Right.
So if I want you to climb back up to 2,000 feet, you're going to increase the throttle, but you're also going to increase your pitch.
Right.
Because if you were to not increase your pitch, it would just turn into speed.
Right. So you want me to get back to 2,000?
Yeah, so go ahead and climb up to 2,000. So as you put the throttle in, you're going to lift the nose up.
Yep. Maintaining 56, right? Or 55?
Right, 55.
Yep. Because I got 200 feet per minute, but I don't feel it.
Yeah. There you go. And as you put the power in, you're going to need more right rudder. So see how your ball's off?
Yep, I see it.
There you go. You need more right rudder.
And
putting in rudder does create
aileron.
An aileron roll, yeah, a banking tendency. So you have to do a little bit of counter bank.
And that's okay. I'm not using enough back pressure. My airspeed's getting up.
Remember, try not to stare at it. Try and look out on the horizon. Use the reference with the cowling on the horizon.
Okay.
There you go. So now you're back at your altitude, so you can pull the power back first. So if you lower the nose with the power still in, you'll build speed. There you go. About 3,800 again.
All right, what do we got?
So let's see if you can keep
Yeah,
it stable.
slow.
So you could do one of two things. You could either increase the power, because if you just lower the nose, you might descend.
Right.
But that's okay because you're also up 30 feet. So if you lower the nose, lose that 30 feet, that might get you to where you want your speed to be. For the ACS, it's plus or minus 10 knots on the speed,
Okay.
plus or minus 100 feet on the altitude, plus or minus 10 on the heading.
So will the DPE, will he tell you heading and then boom?
Yep.
And you, okay.
Yep.
Helicopter 2.
So I feel like I'm still a little fast.
Helicopter 442,
Yeah, look at my
Bravo Delta,
RPMs.
Yep.
The RPMs
There
are
you go.
140 high.
0 at 5, cleared to land, taxiing this freak.
Clear to land Alpha November, in with you. So long.
All right, now I want you to do a left 180.
Left 180. Okay.
Okay, let's go to a 030 heading.
Right. I'm putting a lot of bank in there. Airspeed's dropping. Degrees off.
Within 10, it's okay.
Still though. All right, so I'm a little fast. Altitude's okay, but I'll pull the.
Yep. So you're 50 feet low. So just if you got that speed, just pull it up a little bit.
Yeah.
That'll bring your speed down, give you just a little bit of altitude.
What am I worried about? The critical airspeed right here. I'm at 53.
Again, that 55 gives you the buffer of about the 10 knots.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you were to get down to 45, you get a stall warning, but you wouldn't be stalled yet.
Right.
Back in the day when I did my training, it was the slow flight was done on like in the stall buffet. Now they raised it up to like approach speed basically.
Yeah.
And they just changed stall requirements this summer to recover at first indication versus full stall when I used to do it.
First indication meaning a slight wingtip drop, or
first indication could be the warning.
Okay.
Which comes on pretty early. I still teach through the full stall.
Yep.
I teach recovery from full stall, from buffet, and from first warning, because when you go on your test, you are expected to do first warning. But at the same time, you're not getting the full experience by never doing an actual stall. So most people are scared of stalls. They think, you know, engines turning off and all that, but obviously that's not what happens.
Is there any one point when we turn off one of these ignitions, or we always leave both the ignitions on?
They always stay on. Yep.
Huh, how about that?
They always stay on.
Any boldface or emergency information we should know cold? You know, that's what we would call it. Like, for example, I remember in a high wing, it was always MFI, mixture, full length, fuel, ignition, off, for engine fire. So, is there anything you need to know, just off the top of your head?
So for me, it's kind of a movement flow.
Yep.
So if the engine were to fail, I check fuel, choke, fuel pump, ignition.
Okay.
So I go from bottom, top to cross. I don't have an fancy acronym for it.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
All right, let's go left back into the coast 300.
All right, here we go.
So we tend to do a lot of practice out over the water.
Do you really?
Yeah, mostly because there's no traffic out here. The traffic usually stays along the beach.
Yep.
So if we're out over the water, most of the time we're out of the way, especially 2,000, 3,000 feet. You know, we'll very rarely come into contact with any IFR that's coming in for ILS 3-4 or anything. They're usually out a little bit further.
Yeah, you're pretty comfortable over the water. I'm like, let's be over the land. Where would you say?
I like the water. It's also cooler over the water.
Yeah.
It's usually smoother.
Right, because more consistent, the trains doesn't change.
Yep. You know, and it actually, with the mountains, it actually makes the horizon a little different because you have, you know, the mountainous terrain, whereas the water is just a smooth horizon all the time.
Coordinate my turn a little bit there. So I don't notice a lot different here in slow flight.
No.
I don't even consider this slow flight.
No. Nope. And that's what's so nice about these airplanes is it really doesn't feel that different. But like, if you're in a Cessna 182, 172, you're going full deflection to get it to respond.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is, you know, you're going a little bit more movement, but it doesn't feel like it's sluggish or slow.
Right.
That's the benefit of those full length flaperons. So you got about 80 feet low and you're descending, so just give a little bit of throttle. So that'll change anytime, if there's wind, if you change direction relative to the wind, you might have to make a power adjustment. Okay. Now that we have a tailwind, it's kind of pushing us. We lost a little bit of performance as, you know, when you go into the wind, you have more performance. Alright, now make a right turn to 090.
090, turn right. Ooh, there we go. There we go, better. And slow.
Yep, so slower the nose down.
Yep.
You know, when you're in slow flight, it just kind of pivots. You know, it swings around real quick.
I overshot. Yeah. Pull back that throttle. Right.
Amazing day.
Yeah, no complaints, especially compared to after yesterday. It's a bit warm if you're outside.
It is, yeah. It's warm in here. Even with the shade.
Yeah. So this is your life, right? This
is it.
Burn holes in the sky.
Yep. Do this. I flip houses. I do photography.
You do, what was the second thing?
Flip houses.
Flip houses? No way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's flip and fix or flip and rent?
Flip and fix.
Yeah.
We usually sell them and wipe our hands.
How much of that labor do you yourself or you just contract it out?
We do all the big work contracted out, drywall, siding, roofing, some landscape. This project that we're doing right now had a retaining wall that was basically falling over onto the neighbor's property, so we had landscaping do all that. But we do all the demo. We do cabinet install, counters install. We do all that stuff. It's my brother and I.
Oh, there you go.
He's
generally in the Portsmouth area or what area?
I live down in Mass, so we stay around the North Shore, Mass. All right, go ahead and make a left turn to the north.
Left turn to north, 360, here we go. See if I can nail this one.
The trick with nailing headings is all in the rudder.
Okay.
Uh... 2 degrees, that's not so bad.
So when you say in the rudder, is that at slow flight or is that
anytime.
Rudder period?
Yep, anytime. When you're rolling out, that's when the rudder is the most important, is when you roll out of a turn, because that's what's going to sharpen the turn right onto the heading.
I'm going to tell you, I'm not using a lot of rudder at all.
I really
expect you to say, Brian, more rudder, more rudder, more rudder.
It really doesn't need a lot of rudder. It flies straight, you know, how it is.
Because most of the other planes I've flown in, T-37s, 172s, heavy rudder.
Yep. Yeah, this does not require a lot of rudder, which is nice, because rudder is usually sort of a hurdle for people.
Yeah.
Because again, it's, you know, moving your feet is not something you've probably ever done before.
Anyway, so photography, is this on the ground photography or airborne photography?
Yeah,
I do both.
Arrow 813.
Do a little bit of both.
About 10 miles.
I've done air to air without the airplanes.
500 feet apart.
I've done like property.
313
I also do.
Transitions approved. The altimeter is
I do with drones as well.
Yep.
I got a drone. I do drone photography.
Heavy lift or just moderate sized drone?
Just modern.
Yeah.
It's just the regular small ones. I don't have one of those octocopters I can put a DSLR on. I wouldn't trust it. But I don't do people. People are too needy. So I don't do weddings or anything.
Yeah.
Unless if it was for like a friend or something, but.
So we got that guy off of Hampton there, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So and the reason he's black and not displaying an altitude is most likely he doesn't have mode C.
Yep.
So we're only getting, just his signature there.
So at what point we're going to go back to normal configuration, and so we can see this, I imagine we're headed back to the airport at some point.
Yep.
And go to no flaps or something like that. And I'm curious, when you're in landing, the pattern, at what point do you start down the flaps in? Is that when you turn base or what?
So when you beam your touchdown point.
Okay.
So beam your touchdown point, we reduce the power and put a flap in.
Okay.
And then on the base, we determine whether we need the second flap or not.
Okay.
Go left to 300.
Left to 300. Yeah, got you.
Get that nose up a little bit more too. There you go.
Go. Below us? Yeah.
It looks like he's probably going into Hampton.
Let this do this 800 feet above us.
He's still 4 miles out.
Oh, there we go. See right down there? Oh, look at this dude right there coming at us.
Oh yeah.
You see him?
Yeah. Oh, that's a motor glider.
What do you want me to do?
So he just turned away from us.
Okay,
so you can go ahead and make a right turn, just follow the coast again.
Okay. Turn it right.
So that's the one without his mode C on.
What's he do? Where's he at? Or what's he? I gotta get my nose up. Sorry.
There you go.
Tower citation 83.
The motor glider.
Ready for
Actually, he flies over here all the time.
Juliet, Sierra Portsmouth Tower, runway 16 at Charlie, line up and wait.
Usually he's more over the water. He's kind of right over the airport, but.
When you say airport, which one? Hampton?
Hampton, yep.
Okay.
Hampton's right there below the wing.
I dip my wing. Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
See where he's. I don't see. Oh, there it is. Yep. I was looking beyond it. Okay.
It's pretty close.
All right. Cool.
All right, so you can go ahead and recover back to cruise flight. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the power to 45.
Juliet, Sierra, runway 16 at Charlie, 1160.
And you're going to lower the nose so you don't that doesn't result in a climb.
16 at Charlie.
You're going to take one flap out at a time.
Okay.
You go and lower the nose as you take the flaps out. That should keep you right at 2,000 feet.
Okay.
All right, now you take your other one out.
Ooh, there we go. And trim is down, right?
Yep, you want to trim nose down at this point.
There we go.
So see how you're still pegged at your altitude pretty much? That's exactly what you want to do.
Okay.
Portsmouth Tower, Skipper November 18151 is holding short of 34 Alpha.
Skipper
And go ahead and make a left turn to 300.
Short,
Turn 45. I'm good over there.
All right, and that traffic's below us now.
Yep, he is.
Holding short 151.
That was 330, right?
300.
300, sorry.
We got someone above us, 1,500 feet.
Yep, I see him down there.
We got one more up here.
Yeah, you got him?
I don't see him yet.
Got the motor glider. So
Well
if
above us.
you lost your engine here, would you just try to work for Hampton?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Wrong way. So that's the other part I find interesting. Slow flight, the attitude of the plane.
Yep.
So it's much more nose high. You know, here it's more.
Station 3 Juliet, Sierra.
I got about a fist or so.
Yep.
Switch in Boston. Have a good day.
Yep, it should always be right around, a fist.
Skipper 151, expect a turn for wake turbulence.
What do they got down there for wake turbulence?
151. Waited 3 minutes.
Oh, it's just like a small jet.
Yeah.
Did you say waving or waiting?
We're waiting 3 minutes.
Roger.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I would wave it if I was her. was him. It looks like a citation or something.
Right. No, I wouldn't think there's any wake turbulence.
Yeah. You just can't wave it if it's a heavy.
You doing flying for fun, and where do you go if you do?
If I go flying for fun, I usually go down to my area, go down to the North Shore, around Gloucester, Beverly, Rockport.
Yep.
I like going up into the mountains, Laconia.
Yep.
One of my favorite airports. You know, buzzing around Lake Winnipesaukee.
Oh yeah.
But I don't really go too far when I go out flying for fun. Because it costs somebody money. It doesn't cost me money, but it costs somebody money. So I usually don't abuse it.
Right. A little high. The funny thing is I feel like I'm pushing it down.
So that'll be your trim. Yep. Let's give it a couple taps, get the nose down.
Now I feel like that's going to be too much right there. Yeah, good enough.
That's not too bad.
No. All right, what are your intentions?
Listen to the ATIS.
All right.
See what's going on.
Runway 16 Pappy lights out of service. Runway center line markings faded. Advise on initial contact you have information Papa. Portsmouth Tower information Papa. 1756 Zulu observation. Wind 140 at 05. Visibility 10. Few clouds 6,000. 20,000 scattered. Temperature 28. Dew point 2.
There's our 2,000 scattered.
Altimeter 3017. Pressure altitude -128.
Yep, so we gotta drop that down.
Visual approach runway 16.
Right there.
There we go.
Runway
Thanks.
16. Attention all aircraft. Hazardous weather information for Northeast region available on highways or flight service frequencies. DME out of service. Runway 16 Pappy lights out of service. Runway center line markings faded. Advise on initial contact you have information Papa. Portsmouth Tower information Papa.
Catch the wind again.
1756 Zulu observation. Wind 140 at 05. Visibility 10.
That's what I thought.
5 knots from 140 is slightly off.
Alright, so the last thing I'm going to have you do is I want you to do a steep turn.
Steep turn.
Yep.
Okay, talk to me about that.
So you're going to do 45 degrees of bank, which is your
Yep.
white triangle there.
Okay.
I want you to do it to the left.
Okay.
And it's going to take a little bit of back pressure to maintain the nose up.
All right.
All right, and you can even increase a little bit of throttle, maybe 200 RPM.
So are we going to do all 360?
Yep, just a full 360.
So you want me to do a left 90, right 90 first? And is that the right sequence, going to the left and right on the 90s?
Yeah, so we're going to make a left steep turn, so we want to start to the left.
Okay.
You always clear in the direction you're going to start the maneuver.
So I'm going to go that way. Woo. There we go. Shade blocks the...
I can take the shade up.
Yeah, it's all good. I'd rather be cooler.
But it does, the shade does get in the way when you're doing clearing turns a little bit.
Oh, that's a 45 degree bank right there? Is that, no, it's 30 degree right there.
That was like 35.
Yeah, 35. Okay, so you're going to want me to do, so I'm back on my clearing. All right.
Yep.
So you're going to want me to do 60, you said?
No, 45.
45, got it.
Yep.
Okay, so we've cleared?
Yep, and just use the road there as your heading reference. That way you don't have to stare at that.
Okay, I'm good.
And then just go ahead and whip it around to the left.
All right, back pressure and rudder, right?
Yep, a little bit of rudder.
And right there.
There you go. Now give it a little bit of throttle.
Yep.
You actually have a little bit too much back pressure, so you can relieve it a little bit.
Got too much rudder, not enough rudder.
You actually need right rudder.
I'm a mess on this.
There you go.
I have to do this one again.
Keep that bank in there.
Yep.
There you go, right there.
There we go.
So the reason it needs a little bit of right rudder is because the engine's dragging it down. So the forces of the engine causes a left turning tendency, and that's dragging it in, downward.
P factor or torque?
It's going to be that's going to be your torque. Right rudder coming out.
Ah, wrong way.
Yep. All right, now do it to the right. So right rudder going in.
Right rudder going in.
And it'll be mostly, you'll just need a slight bit of right rudder. Won't need a whole lot.
I lost which, am I aiming for the triangle or the hash?
The triangle.
Okay. 180.
Yeah, this one's much better.
You said the hash or the...
That triangle, the white triangle.
I'm sorry.
Yep, white triangle. The hash is the 60.
60, yeah. Yeah, it's okay. And then left coming out on the rudder?
Yep, just a little bit of left rolling out.
A little bit. There we go.
Good. There's your wake.
Oh, no way.
Yep.
That's great.
That little bump.
Yeah. Altitude was okay.
Yeah, the right turn was definitely better than the left turn. So try the left turn again.
All right. Do you want me to clear again, or?
Now you can go right into it.
Okay, here we go. Left. And
there you go. So that's a little too far. So bring it back 45.
Yep.
There you go. Now a little bit of right rudder.
151 affirmative. You can contact Boston.
So if I'm going left, should I have right rudder or left rudder?
So because that's what I was talking about with the engine just pulling it down, you have to use a little bit of right rudder to keep the engine up. Basically keep the nose up.
Yeah.
Because if you were to have left rudder, it'd be too much.
Okay.
There you go. That's much better now.
So let me. And coming out, I'll need right rudder coming out?
Yeah, a lot of right rudder coming out. There you go.
So, going back to the right, will I need right rudder going into it?
Yes.
But going to the left, I need right rudder.
Correct.
Okay. I'm not paying attention, I'm just listening.
Yep.
So.
Yep, so that's...
Okay, that's fine.
That's it. All right, so now let's go right turn 030.
Right turn 030.
And we'll go ahead and call him up information Papa, right?
Yep. Oh my goodness.
Getting excited with these turns now.
Oh, you said whipping around.
It doesn't bother me. These clouds are a little higher than 2,000.
Yeah, they are, because we're at 22. So I'm gonna... Want to come down to that throttle? Back to,
yeah, pull back on the throttle, go down to 15.
150? Okay,
yeah, 1,500 feet.
Yeah, that's what you said. Oh, 1,500 feet. How much on the throttle?
Oh, throttle 35.
Yeah, there you go.
35.
It's like, why are you cutting the engine? You told me 15. Yeah, so pattern altitude. Gotcha.
And you can kind of aim towards like we're going to enter on a base here.
Yep, gotcha. Extended base.
Yeah, that's probably what we'll get.
All right, let's see where we're at. 2,000. Nose drop a little. Would you adjust trim at this point?
Not really.
I'm asking your technique.
So no,
okay.
Because then you're just going to retrim when you level off.
Yeah.
So as of now, it's already trimmed for level. So when you put the power back in, it'll be trimmed. Okay.
So are we within 5 yet?
Nope,
no?
We're at 7.
Okay. Wow. Looks like it's right there.
I know it. I'm going to give him a call. Portsmouth Tower, RV271 Victor Alpha 7 to the west, inbound Papa, full stop.
RV271 Victor Alpha, Portsmouth Tower, reported 2 mile right base, runway 16.
2 mile right base, 16, 1 Victor Alpha.
Wow, you feel that crosswind there?
A little bit. A little push.
Yeah. So, do you see the actual departure in the runway at this point?
Yes, so it's...
I see the
I can see like the alpha turn.
Yeah,
the technically alpha turn and the runway threshold.
I see the water tower, the big hangar. I see what the heck is north ramp.
Yep.
And the buildings out there, which I can't recall what that is.
Yeah, so those buildings right along the edge of the perimeter there.
Yep.
That right before that is the.
Yep. Okay, so we're 90 degrees at it then.
Yep.
That sucks. All right. So 3,200 RPM, 1,500. Do you want me to bring it back to 3,500 RPM?
So you can bring it down to 1,100 feet.
1,100 feet.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we'll bring it back up to 45.
Okay.
That's our pattern altitude.
Yep. 1,000 AGL, airfield elevations 111 or something like that, 112?
Exactly 100.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly 100.
We're fighting this. Yeah, certainly not as smooth as we were over the ocean.
No, it never is. Once the ground starts heating up and there's thermals and stuff, then it's not as smooth.
Will we feel a sinking effect over the Great Bay here?
You probably won't feel a sink. It just might get a little smoother.
Yeah. All right. Getting there.
And then kind of our pre-landing check is fuel on, which it already is, landing light on.
Boom.
That's it.
Now you got it on pulse, right?
Yep.
Versus steady.
So pulse from what I've read and understand, it tends to do a little better scaring birds.
Right. So. Okay, so 1,100, you want me to go back to 45 on the...
Yep, back to 45.
Yeah, I was a little late on that 10%. Okay, at what point will we, you said 2 miles when we'll get the landing configuration, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so since we're entering on the base, we'll wait till we hit the water there, the edge of the bay. Okay. That's when we'll pull the power back, put a flap in.
Okay. I find it interesting that if you were to get your private pilot certificate, there you go, and that you're trained in a light sport aircraft, but you're certified to fly any of the other aircraft.
Yep.
But a light sport aircraft, what? But you can't can't go above 10, can't have a cloud layer between you and the ground. So I find that interesting. It's just, is that a big deal since you know all your training in light sport?
Not really, because airplanes, they all fly the same.
Same basics, right?
They have their own characteristics, but when you learn to fly, you're learning to fly all airplanes.
Yep.
You know, but obviously if you're going to go jump in a 182 or Bonanza, you know, you're going to get training in that specific airplane. But it'll only take like an hour or two versus you know, your entire training.
So when you said the edge, you want when the plane actually crosses that, we're going to drop the power, pop in at least one flap.
So you're going to reduce the power prior to that, but you're going to put the flap in when you cross that.
Okay, and the flap speed is 85, 86?
82.
82, there you go. And I'm holding your RPMs up, right? Oh, I'm a little high right now.
You can bring it back to 4,000 now.
4,000, all right.
4,100.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I should be doing something right now. I got the runway coming right up on me.
Yep.
You could make sure.
Now, should I square this up a little bit more to the...
Yeah, you can just aim right for those towers there.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm going to give him a call. Harvey 1 Victor Alpha, 2 mile right base, 16 full stop.
Harvey 1 Victor Alpha, check close down, runway 161140, cleared to land.
Clear to land, 161 Victor Alpha. You want us on Charlie or Bravo?
Charlie, if you can.
Alright, we'll make Charlie 1 Victor Alpha. Alright, so now pull the power back to idle.
All the way back?
Yep.
Okay.
And lift the nose up just a little bit, get your speed down, put one flap in.
One flap. Woo! There you go.
Alright, now be pitching for about 70. You're going to lower the nose for 70.
Yep, gotcha. Man, that looks steep.
It will be steep for just a minute here.
There we go.
Just because we want to make the Charlie turn off, so we're going to come down a little quick.
Okay. Oh, yep, we got 70. 72, okay. Finals clear.
Oh, clear.
Yep. You going to square it up to final or what?
Yeah, we're going to square it up.
All right.
That way we can lose our altitude that we need.
Okay. 620.
All right, put your second flap in.
Yep. Hard to get.
Go, now raise your nose for 60.
Okay.
Just make sure that throttle's all the way back.
It's just the first left in about maybe
60.
1,000 feet.
There you go.
Started to turn a little early there. Okay, we're at 56, 55.
So lower it for 60.
Okay, sorry.
There you go.
I thought you said raise it. You want me to start turning?
Yep, turn it in.
Report for tower, Cirrus 299 Alpha Tango with you.
62, 64, there you go.
Yep, nice and shallow on the turn.
299 Alpha Tango, Portsmouth Tower.
At what point should we be stable here? 60 is where we're at?
Yeah, you know, as long as you're right around 60, pointing towards the runway, it's like I said, this airplane's super forgiving. All right, now lift it up a little bit.
Yep.
Get it back to 60.
Man, should I be using more rudder here?
No, you're okay right now. Just kind of let it do its thing. Give it a little bit of throttle, just so we can make it past the
display threshold. Yep. That tower anymore.
So now lower the nose slightly.
Okay.
Now cut the throttle.
Throttle's cut.
So see how you're sideways? Go right rudder, left aileron. So hold it like that. Yep. And now just be patient with it. So see how you're drifting?
Yep.
So just pull it back a little more. Here you go. Hold it right there. Let it come down. So drop the nose so you don't scrape the tail.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
3 Golf Juliet.
Gotcha.
Ground, runway 16.
Yep. You got it now? Your plane?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
This is the hard part.
Yep. Your plane.
My plane. Fresh air. He's down.
Okay.
Portsmouth Tower, Cessna Station Air 254 Tango Sierra, we're ready to take the active and depart.
But you see how like you were all over the place?
Yeah.
You see how the touchdown was still nice and soft?
Yeah, it was. A very high nose attitude too. And I imagine if I were to watch tape, it'd be the same attitude I saw in slow flight. I'm guessing, I don't know.
Yep.
I never really felt the ground effect though.
Yeah, that was because of the 2 flaps. That's what happened. That's what tends to happen. Cuts it down quite a bit.
And now, when we get the ground effect, is that what caused it to dance a little more? When it was okay.
Yep.
RV1 Victor Alpha, if you could just hold position for 1 second. My plan is to get you back on the runway and have you taxi down. I have a northbound jet on Alpha.
All right, no problem. You want me to make a 180 here?
Stand by just 1. Let me get this departure off.
No problem.
And we're rolling on 16.
4 Tango Sierra, roger.
There he is.
Sirius 9 Alpha Tango, look for a station air departing runway 16. You will be VFR to the west.
Roger, we're looking for 99 Alpha.
RV1 Victor Alpha.
Airfly Sirius.
180, taxi to park via runway 16, then Bravo Alpha November.
16 Bravo Alpha November after the 181 Victor Alpha. What was that you said?
Did you ever fly Sirius?
A Sirius, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They're nice. The first time I've had to do this. Clear.
All right, so typically, what speed are you taxiing at?
We're looking usually around 10 to 15 knots ground speed, but because we're going out on the runway, I'm going to do a high-speed taxi, just so I can get off.
Yeah. Oh, it's a kill zone. You got to get out of here.
Yeah. It'd be weird pulling onto it and not taking off. Actually, I guess I can use this to demonstrate. So if I bring the nose up, so when you touch down, it should be about that when you touch down.
Okay. Were we higher than that?
Yeah, you were like, I didn't even see the runway. You were like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It should be about there.
So what does that mean? I mean, so I get the attitude was too high, but what could have been done differently?
Well, really the whole reason that happened is just because you just got slow a little bit in the beginning.
In the beginning, meaning on the perch, or?
So when you were going into the flare,
yep,
you were under 55.
Gotcha.
And 55 is kind of like the limit. You don't really want to be much below that.
Now, had you had me at power at that time?
4 Tango Sierra.
Let's say that again.
Was that before or after I had a power?
That was after.
After.
Yep.
So still slow after power.
Yep. Well, remember the power is for the altitude.
Yeah, yeah.
So the power got you past the display threshold, but it didn't really do anything for speed.
Up now, so you can contact Boston 125.05. They'll give you VFR service.
Thanks again. 4 Tango Sierra, Boston 125.05. Good day.
Good day.
Porto Tower, helicopter 442, Bravo Delta, on November with Papa. Request departure to the south.
Helicopter 442 Bravo Delta, Alpha Taxiway, beam November 1140 at 5, cleared for takeoff.
Got the Pilatus.
Clear for takeoff from Alpha November 442 Bravo Delta.
RV1 Victor Alpha, hold short taxiway Mike. There'll be one of those Robinson helicopters departing Alpha, beam November.
All right, I'll hold short of Mike for the helicopter, 1 Victor Alpha.
Are they just turning through the sightseeing tours?
16140 at 4, cleared to land, long landing approved, no need to call the base.
Yeah, they're a helicopter flight school, and they also do the scenic tours.
I just see the complaints in the paper about them.
Oh, yeah.
It annoys me.
Yep.
And it was 442 Bravo Delta departing Alpha, right?
That's affirmative.
Holding short of Mike.
There's another Pilatus coming out of there. Actually, it's not. Good.
RV1 Victor Alpha, you can continue taxiing, just pass behind the departing helicopter.
All right, continue taxiing behind the helicopter, 1 Victor Alpha. Have a good one.
Good one.
All right, and they're off.
Wonder if your cross-country solo got his fuel.
I assume he did because it took him a little while to leave, so.
Oh, you heard him?
Yeah, I heard him on the radio leaving.
How much do you monitor those cross-countries?
So he's actually in, like as I was mentioning earlier, that airplane has a higher ADS-B,
right?
Whatever it is. I can actually track that one live. So most of student solos and stuff are going to be done in that airplane. That way I can track it.
Yep.
There was a time where I had a student that was like cruising up and down the beach at 700 feet, just for fun.
Yeah.
And when he came back, I kind of gave him a little scare. Ryan and I teamed up on him. We're like, so we got a call from the state police, saying there was a low-flying aircraft kind of scaring some people. And I mean, he was a 19-year-old kid, so super.
There's nothing illegal
cautious.
about that. Yeah.
No, there's nothing illegal about it. But I mean, it's kind of against our policy. You're not supposed to be below 1,000 feet unless if you're practicing a certain maneuver.
Yep.
And he was just kind of cruising up and down the beach, so it was a little scary. He was kind of on the verge of tears when we told him, like, yeah, we're just messing with you, but you really shouldn't be doing that. He's like, yeah, I get it. I'll never do that again. But he's a good friend of ours, so it wasn't too bad. Weren't too hard on him. But he never did it again. Okay, I'm going to turn it off. We just hit the ignition one at a time.
Boom.
Engine speed.
Oh, wow. And what do you want to do?
Oil pressure.